Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. वो एग्जॉस्ट बंद कर दो. क्या बोलेंगे आज? Let it come. We all know that meditation means being in silence. And many times when we will the silence or are in silence but do not have the capacity to remain without any objectivity, then all the problem begins. That will determine how much we are affected by the objectivity. Objectivity will affect us if we are at the surface of our mind. Just as a piece of stone thrown in a shallow pond creates multiple waves which go on and on and on for some time. A similar stone thrown in a deep ocean hardly creates a wave. In the water. What is the reason? Because the ocean is deep. It's able to absorb the impact of the stone. Whereas the shallow pond is unable to absorb the impact of the piece of stone. So is our mind. What are the stones that are being thrown at the mind? The stones are seeing, hearing, touching, feeling, tasting. Through the senses, they are appearing and they are reaching the mind. Or they are desires from within. So are we only at the surface level of our mind? Surface level of our mind is living only at the worldly level, living only at the sensory level, living only at the body level? Or are we deep? Breath will also be at the worldly level only. But when we come to the mind and intellect and God or silence, we are going deep. And how do we go deep? We seek the source of the mind. For at any given moment, the mind and the self are made up of the same material called consciousness. They are not separate, but they appear to be separate. Just as ornaments are not separate, but they appear to be separate. Everything is gold alone. Just as the, the father in you, or the mother in you, or the son in you, and the daughter in you, they seem to be different roles, but you are one, exactly like that. So, how do we dive? We go back to the source. Mind and the self are essentially one. Going deep means not focusing on the surface of the mind, which is sensory perceptions or imaginary perceptions from within the mind or desires. Instead, continuously making ourselves available to the source of the mind. Where does it begin? Where does it conclude? How deep is it? How does it exist? Is it existing independently, or is it dependent on someone? What is its nature? After having asked all these questions, we'll find the answer when the mind becomes silent. Maunam vyakyat prakatita parabrahma tattvam. In the silence, the self reveals. Our approach should be such in our daily living, our attitude be such on a daily basis, moment by moment basis, that we remain silent within. Our mind is silent. And therefore, Bhagavad Gita, the word sama, equanimity, is used so many times. In joys and sorrows, be equanimous. In gain and loss, be equanimous. Sukh and dukh is at the mental level, inside. Success and failure is outside. Heat and cold is outside. Hunger and thirst is outside. Victory and defeat is outside or inside. Remain equanimous. Don't get perturbed. Do that. Access that silence. Our approach should be only to bring the mind to silence and extend that period of silence without any interruption with any pieces of stone, as we explained. Let it be ripple free. Don't allow anything to trigger you. Remain silent. by seeking the source of the mind, by understanding that the mind and the self are essentially one, appearing to be two. How is it? Let it reveal. For that revelation, the mind needs to be silent